Hello friends, and welcome back to the archives. Once again, we are playing Kirby's Adventure, and I believe we're on the last boss of the entire game, so that means, after this fight, we get to the review. Now, if only I can figure out how to beat him. Last episode, we faced his first form, that weird star ball thing, along with King Dedede, so, Star Rod in hand, let's try to defeat him. Continue, let's go. I'm getting Dracula vibes and I don't like it. What part of him is vulnerable? Seriously, how do I hurt him? Oh, okay. When his body's exposed. I think. I'm just guessing at this point. I have absolutely no idea. I could just jump into him. Marvelous. And take damage as well. So when his body's exposed and shining, kind of like that, I guess he's vulnerable. Thank God it's not his head. No damage, my ass. Come on. Show me your body! Show me your weak points! Quit hiding behind your cape! Doing something at least. Come on! Maximum effort! Concentration inbound! I'll just smack you in the face and be done with it. Come on! Kinda useless just shooting the Star Rod, just bounces off of him. Hurt! Just need to avoid hitting up. Oh, it does hit him. Cool! So yes. His technicolor body, when it's exposed, is actually a weak point. Now it's just gonna be easy. Just gonna keep jumping into him. Haha. Come on. Come on. Show me. And actually stopped most of his attacks, too. Haha! All I'm doing is just jumping into him. This is gonna take a while. If you have motion sickness, I am sorry. Come on! Come on! Oh, that actually worked. It was too low. Come on. Yes, step there, that's fine. Just leave me alone. That should have worked. Trying it again. Oh, I already took damage. Damn it. There we go. Patience is key. Did not want to fly! No fly! Fly bad! This is not good. Frankly, it's terrible. It's terrible. There we go. You know, in the portrait, he has a little hat on. Where's my hat? No, stay up there. Stay up there. Perfect. Don't want to do this shit. Okay, so I can't hit him twice. Damn. See, that's perfect. So stay right there. Stay stunned. Stay. Oh my god! There we go. Yeah, stay up there. I don't care. Quit coming down here. Stay up there. That was my fault. I jumped right into him. We can do this. I know I can. Just be patient. Don't do anything stupid. Why does it take any visual damage when you first hit him the first few times? I'm frazzled. His damage is weird. I've hit him 4 times and he hasn't shown any damage at all. Oh, there he is, 2. So I gotta hit him, what, 40 times? Oh, that is more. Huh. Interesting. But I can only hit him once at a time. You know, cheap-ass moves. We're doing good, though. I have faith in me. I think. Yep. Shooting it actually does more damage. That'll be the other way around, you know? You think up close and personal would be the more damage. Saw that coming. Easy. So simple. Only 2 hits? Are you kidding me? Nope, no, no. Not now. Not ever. And down, whatever the hell you were. Did he just de-res? Am I in the grid? Was this Tron the entire time? I blew up part of the moon. Oh, whoops. It's a premature crescent. Thought to find the star rod. Found it. But King Dedede did not mean any harm. He's a nice penguin. Bad dreams had invaded dreamland. No, duh. A nightmare came to the dream spring. Yep, that was him. He was a nightmare. And tried to cause pain to the people. Dedede foiled the nightmare. Good king. You may have your wombat by hiding the star rod from him. Yeah, you can have it back. Help Kirby defeat the nightmare. And for that we thank him. Now everyone's dreams will return. Hopefully they're good ones. That dreamland will sleep well. So you told me that they haven't been sleeping at all, or they've just all been having nightmares? Because either way, that's terrifying. You just threw the star rod. Oh, there we go. I thought you just like chucked it and just left it behind. And now we found the power of all the dreams. The source of all the power. Bye, Kirby. Aww. It's a nice ending, at least. All the bosses and everything. Oh, that's just gonna play out. And there we have it, friends. Kirby's Adventure for the NES. Now I say we go back to the couch and give our final thoughts and our review on it. Shall we? And here we are, back on the couch. Here to give our review and final thoughts on Kirby's Adventure for the NES. How did it play? How does it look? How did it stack up to the game before it? Well, pretty good actually. It being a sequel to Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy, it was fantastic. They added a new ability where you can copy people's abilities now. Eat somebody up, most likely you're going to steal their ability rather than just spit them out as a star. So, we'll go through our normal ways of reviewing by going through level design, character design, gameplay, difficulty, bosses if any. We'll start with the level design. Each level is actually very unique. The color palettes are very vibrant. The design itself, not too hard to traverse, although I do hate water. It is kind of cute when he's under the water and he starts spitting out water as his only attack, unless you have the sword or the hammer. That one you actually do a little spin underwater with, which is great. Although short range can be a pain in the butt to use. Going through that, the enemy placement was a little shaky in some parts, especially since most of them, if not all, do respawn when they go off screen. Either you can off-screen them if you get rid of them, or when you walk off-screen, they come right back, as seen through, I think it was episode 7, where I had bombs dropping on my head constantly. Yeah, I hate those bombs. They're a one-time use if you swallow one, but at the same time, they're a screen nuke. And really, having multiples drop on you, respawn, drop on you again, drop on you again, drop on you again, it is just a pain in the ass, and you lose, 1, your lives, 2, you lose all your power-ups that you just got. And yeah, not a fan of some of the enemy placement there. Now we go into the character design. Enemies in the character, Kirby, by himself, not that hard to mess up. Round circle, 2 arms, 2 feet, and a smiley face. Really, very hard to mistake Kirby for anything else. A pink little fuffball. Don't know what he's made of, but he does remind me of a smaller version of Majin Buu. If you've seen Death Battle, you'll be salty. But I do like it that you can actually discern what he looks like from everybody else. It's actually a bit of detail put into how simple his design actually is. As for the enemy design, you have a variety's worth. You have a plethora of all different elements, of different styles, of different attacking actually. Although they do start doing palette swaps a little later on. I can understand you have 6 levels per world. You're gonna have to reuse some assets later on down the line. Although it was a little confusing between the fire and the ice blowers. So you have penguins that actually blow ice, or you have a palette swap of the fire breather that will also breathe ice. Now, one's red, one's blue, not that hard to discern from. Except one level actually has a blue one spitting fire, and it confused the crap out of me. I don't understand why they did that. But enemy variety is all there. You have swords, you have hammers, you have what they call cutters. It's basically like a boomerang, that's basically what it is. But the lasers, I don't get why they're little balls floating around, but lazy design, I guess. Couldn't think of anything that shoots lasers besides the UFO. I love that one, though. Be able to charge its attack and actually use that against other people. Only thing is, it locks you, once you start charging it, it locks you into that position. So you can't, like, turn around the other way while still charging. Kind of a downside, but it goes through enemies pretty damn fast. The only enemies I was actually kind of disappointed in were the pre-Meta Knight fights, where his henchmen come out to attack you in large waves, and you would think this is actually like a really good boss fight. No, not really. I was actually very disappointed in that one, because they're very easy to get rid of. You don't even need to attack them. You suck them up, you spit them out, they're done. And they go down so easily. Other boss fights, you need a little bit of ingenuity. You know, you have the one-eyed cloud. That was fun to fight against. You have all the mini-bosses. They were fun to fight. And be able to absorb them afterwards and use their abilities. I have a small problem, though, with one of the abilities. I don't like how throw and backdrop are basically the same thing, except one throws the enemy. Otherwise, it's still your sucking up technique. Seriously. I mean, it looks kind of cool seeing Kirby body slam somebody, but a little off track. Sorry about that. Things just come to mind at the end of the game. Only one small I do have that they later on did correct in later games was when you copy someone's ability, you don't really change much. Aside from you turn a darker pink sometimes, like you just got a tan. Or if you get an ice power, you turn blue. And then the flying saucer is the only one that's actually visibly very unique. Not a palette swap, you're actually a little flying saucer. Now in later games they would rectify this by actually making him like a, if he has a fighting technique, he'd have a headband. Or if he got the cutter ability, he'd have a little helmet on, he'd get new hats. You get a hat. That's great. This game, they needed more color variety for Kirby, at least. I mean, we kind of like to see him go like, okay, yellow, okay, pink, okay, green, blue, red. Have fire. You're now a bright fire color, or, red, orange color. That would be great. Something to know what power you have, even though there is a card in the bottom of the corner next to your life that shows you what power you have. Well, if you're looking on screen and you're not always looking up and down constantly to see what power you have, you're gonna kind of forget. The only other ability that actually changes your entire form happens to be the ball. You turn into a ball, you're just round. It's Kirby with no feet and legs. The fire ability or the fireball ability, you actually turn into a fireball going across the screen. There are visual distinctions that you could have made. Still, boss fights. We covered one of them already. There were a few more, but they're kind of samey, except for the last two bosses, which, if you haven't watched the rest of the series, there's 8 episodes total. Go back and watch if you don't want spoilers. It'll all be in the description, so don't worry. Warning ahead, this is a spoiler for an over 40-year-old game. About 38-year-old game. So the last 2 bosses you face are King Dedede. He is basically a penguin version of Kirby. He's supposed to be an adult version. He has the sucker powers, and he utilizes a gigantic hammer, and he body slams you basically. He ain't that hard, although he can inflate, which looks really silly, and fly around the screen a little bit before he drops down on you. Another enemy will be the Meta Knight fight, which is actually very unique in the fact of you can't fight him unless you pick up the sword in the middle of the room. You don't pick it up, he won't fight you. You can just sit there all day. You can attack him. He'll just stay up there on his little perch until you pick up the sword, and then it turns into a sword fight. And you cannot lose the sword. I really repeat that. Unlike every other ability, when you're fighting Meta Knight, you can't lose the ability. You have a sword throughout the entire thing. That's great. It's a one-on-one duel with a guy who seemingly wants to kill you. At the same time, he's the one that's been throwing the lollipops of invincibility at you. So I'm very confused. Then do you find out that he basically is a dark version of you. Just wears a mask and a cape. Now the final fight was very interesting. So King Dedede actually isn't the bad guy. He ain't the final enemy. No! You get the Star Rod, you put it back into the Fountain of Dreams, and you release a nightmare. And it turns into a shooter. This fight was cool, except for one small problem that I really hate. And I did not notice this until, well, I died of the first time. It's a time battle. There's no clock. There's no way of knowing. But the screen at near part will shrink. He'll go off screen, the screen will shrink, and smash you against the ceiling, killing you instantly. Oh, I was so nettled. I was not happy about that one at all. Other than that, the fight itself is basically just a bullet hell. You're flying through, you're throwing stars at him. It's pretty fun. And then you go into the next phase. With barely any health, you fight off against the final form of the nightmare, where they don't tell you, one, what part of him actually is vulnerable, because the stars bounce off him. Yes, you still have the Star Rod, and he's invulnerable to him until he lifts his cape. I was getting Dracula flashbacks all of a sudden, where the body's invincible and the head was a weak point. But no, his body is a weak point. You just have to wait till he opens his cape up, and then you can jump into him where you just automatically do a somersault with the Star Rod. There were some graphical glitches that I've noticed, that when you do hit an enemy, the life bar wouldn't always go down. And it kind of worried me, thinking that, am I actually hurting him, or is it shrugging it off? Until later on I figured out, oh, it went down, and it went down again, and it was consistently starting to go down again. So, I don't know if that's a glitch, or what. Now the one upside to this game is that, yes, it is easy in the beginning, and then suddenly goes hard mode on you. Enemies get a lot more abundant and a lot cheaper, and the placement gets a lot weirder. But on the upside, unlimited continues, and you start off exactly where you left off most of the time. You know, if you're in World 6, you are like the last boss. I was in the final phase of Nightmare. I died, no lives, had to continue. I started on that fight. I'm okay with that. Because going through that bullet hell again just to go right back would not have been a good day. But that's all I have. The game is fun overall. And if you don't already have it, and you love your NES, put it in your collection. It looks great on a shelf, it is very fun to play, and I can see myself jumping back into this game and playing it again. For all the gripes that I did have with certain things, it is an NES game. They're meant to be difficult, and the curve is supposed to be all over the place. But being Kirby's only game on the NES, before going to the Super Nintendo, after the Game Boy again. Oddly enough, this game actually got re-released and turned into Nightmare and Dreamland for the Game Boy Advance. He can't say consistent. It's usually, I'm starting to think that Kirby is just a handheld game that should not be on console. Just keep him as a handheld. He belongs there. He loves it there. And he'll have more games on a handheld than he will on a console. But anyways, friends, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this series. I hope you enjoy the review. And once again, these are my opinions on these games. So, that's all I have for you. If you enjoy the content, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. Please suggest what games I should play next. It's a relaxing Saturday. Make it another relaxing game. I have a few in mind, but nothing concrete just yet. So until next time, friends, I am your humble curator, and until next time, signing off.